Halata bang walang tulog?
Damay-damay na to, kuya.
Di man, pogi pa rin, pogi.
Ako, ayoko ng pogi kasi para sa aso yun eh. Joke lang. Okay, so good evening everybody. And I hope na nakakain na kayo ng maayos. Kasi ako mamaya pa ako kakain after ng session natin. Okay, so our last meeting we have discussed about the we have known how we are connected to God, and we have seen the similarity of characteristics of God and us, and how we can really fulfill our portion of responsibility so that we can be connected or we can become the substantial embodiment of God. Tama po ba? And fulfilling that one, it will lead us towards a continuous and unending happiness. But if we will come to look around us, ibang-iba yung makikita natin. Tama ba? Yung pinipicture natin na ideal centering the chapter 1 from the blueprint, this is not the thing that we can see around us. This is not the situation, the actual situation that we can see. It's really 100% opposite. Di ba? Kasi even tayo nga mismo, di ba? Minsan gusto nating magpakabuti. Remember ba yung kanta na gusto kong, ano ba yan? Gusto kong bumait pero hindi ko magawa? Remember niyo yan? Gusto kong bumait ngunit hindi ko magawa. Yan. And this is the thing that we have. This is the present dilemma that we are facing right now. Now, even though how much we wanted to exert effort to become good, but it end up to be we are doing evil. Kasi sometimes yung good na nakikita natin, hindi pala yun yung good na gusto natin or gusto ng nakakarami. Still, it's different from the original goodness that we perceive. Okay? So bakit nagkaganon? Okay? So alam natin na along the way of the development of Adam and Eve, okay, merong nangyari in the course of their fulfillment of their portion of responsibility that leads towards the division of the mind of people. Tama ba? Nagkaroon tayo ng dual inclination. Kaya sabi niya dito sa slides natin, sabi niya, all people have an original mind which inclines them to pursue goodness, yet even without our being aware of it, we are driven by evil spirit to perform evil deeds which we do not want to do. Siguro naman wala sa atin dito yung nagdarasal na sana may makaaway ako mamaya. Meron ba? Meron ba nagdarasal sa atin nun? Wala, right? What is in our mind is we wanted to pursue and experience goodness and we wanted to share goodness. But what is happening is the opposite. Tama ba? Almost, kung kukumpara pa natin into a fractional setting is, sabihin natin, 80% yung not good na nagagawa natin and only 20% yung good na nagagawa natin. Minsan, hindi pa yung absolute goodness, ngunit meron pa yung pagdadoubt. Am I right, brothers and sisters? And this is the real situation of people, yung tinatawag nating substantial image of God. So in Christianity, the master of these evil forces that is keep on influencing human being to do evil, okay, is known to be as Satan. Na hanggang sa ngayon, hindi pa natin alam kung ano ba talaga si Satan. Is there anybody among you who can clearly explain who is Satan and what is the characteristics of Satan? Diba? And this is the problem that we have up until this time. Kaya nga, kahit gusto nating bumait, dahil hindi natin alam kung anong characteristics ni Satan, still, hindi natin alam how to really pursue goodness. And how can we really pursue goodness so that we can overcome evilness. Kaya what we needed to do is to extirpate evil by its root. Kumbaga, i-uproot natin yung evilness, i-expose natin yung reality of Satan, and from there we can start to end the sinful history so that we can be ushered into a new era of goodness. And we must first expose the motivation and origin of Satan and recognize the destruction he has wrought in human life. Kasi pag alam natin kung ano si Satan, alam natin kung paano natin siya iwasan. Tama ba? Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Yan. And pag alam natin maiwasan, alam din natin how we can end and stop the influence of Satan in us. And most especially, pag alam natin kung anong kahinatnan, anong end point ng influence niya sa atin, the more na mas maintindihan natin na kinakailangan nating i-stop, or sabi nga ni Father, we needed to uproot Satan's influence in us. So ito yung pag-uusapan natin throughout this chapter. Ito yung i-clarify natin. What is the identity of Satan? Who is Satan? Kasi lagi nating sinasabi, inumpluensyan ka ng evilness. Pero ano ba yung ginagawa sa atin ng evilness? Ano ba yung binibigay sa atin ng evilness? That we keep on doing even though without knowing it. Okay? And to begin with, first let us expose what is really the root of sin. Okay? And this is the first section of the chapter, this chapter or chapter 2. Na hanggang sa ngayon, wala pa talagang clear understanding kung ano talaga ang ugat ng kasalanan. Okay? Even though we have a religious inclination, but up until this time, the only thing that is being given to us is, anong sinasabi? Ang pagkakasala nila Adam and Eve is dalawa yon. Anong una? Pagkain ng prutas. Pangalawa is pagsuway sa utos ng Diyos. Tama ba? And this is the common teaching that is being given by majority of our religion. Okay? Yan. Kaya nga, kung titignan natin in Christianity, on the basis of the Bible, have held a vague belief that Adam and Eve's eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil was the root of sin. Ito yung tinuturo sa atin in our Christian tradition. Nang ugat ng pagkasala nila Adam and Eve is kumain sila ng prutas. And sabi nga natin, yung prutas na yun ay walang iba kundi apple. Right? Yan yung common na sinasabi natin na kumain sila ng apple. E di sana wala nang nagtitinda ng apple sa palengke. Aju? Pero bakit hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin nagtitinda ng apple at hindi pa rin maiwasan yung apple? Okay? Yan. So ang tanong is, yung namumunga ba ng fruit na to is really an actual tree? So yun dapat natin unang isipin, unang intindihin or una nating alamin. Does the tree na tinutukoy na namunga nung kinain nila Adam and Eve, is it a tree that is an actual tree? So let's study. Okay? So let's go deeper. What is the fruit? Okay? Ang tanong dito is, kung titignan natin, si God is our parent. Am I right? God is our parent. So ang tanong, would a parent do something that can make his children suffer? Or make his children die? Diba? Ang pagkakalam ko is, ang gagawin ng parents, pagka nahirapan ng anak, they will do everything para na sa ganon, hindi mahirapan yung mga anak. Pag may sakit ang anak, they will do everything to cure, to find the cure. No matter what. Even sacrifice themselves for the sake of their children. Am I right, brothers and sisters? Does it make sense? And if God is our parent, can He make a fruit that is so attractive in the eyes of His children, and then ilalagay niya dun sa lugar kung saan madali nilang makita? Would a parent do that? Okay? Or kayo, bilang kapatid. Di ba? Pag bumibili kayo ng mga poison na mga gamit sa bahay, ano nakalagay dun sa label nun? Do you remember? Pag bumili ka ng muriatic acid, nakalagay ba doon na ilagay lang doon sa labas na lagi na madaling makita o ilagay sa ref? Katabi ng mga tubig, ganun ba nakalagay doon?
Keep away from children.
'Di ba? Merong warning na nakalagay doon. So what does it mean? Even other people, they are concerned with other people as well. That it might cost them something that will harsh their life. And if that is the case, how much more to God? How much more to our parent? Okay? So meaning, hindi siya yung simpleng prutas lang. Okay? Kasi kung simpleng prutas lang, paano, meron bang prutas na pwedeng maging cause ng kasalanan ng tao? Pag kinain mo, maging makasalanan ka? Nang kasalanan na yon, hindi lang sa'yo. The worst thing is, ipapasa mo pa sa susunod na henerasyon. Meron na ba kayo nabalitaan na prutas na pag kinain is sumakit ang tiyan, pati yung mga anak, pati yung mga apo, sumakit ang tiyan? Is there meron na ba kayo nabalitaan na ganon? Actually, yun yung unang tinanong ko sa professor ko nung sa ano namin, sa klase namin nung nag-aaral pa ako sa college. Yan. Tinanong ko siya, as a biologist, have you encountered a fruit na pag kinain mo, pati yung mga anak mo, sasakit ang tiyan? Tinawanan lang ako ng professor ko. Okay? Kasi nagtatanong daw ako ng out of this world na question. So, ibig sabihin, there is no such thing as a fruit na pag kinain mo, it can cause a sin to you and to your descendants. And also, would the God of love test humans so mercilessly by a means that could cause their death? Pwede bang si God as our parent, itetest niya mga anak niya na ang maging kapalit is kamatayan? Would a parent do that? Halimbawa si Ate Relina, yung kaisa-isa niyang anak, okay? So itetest niya kung maging obedient sa kanya yung anak niya. Ang gagawin niya, gagawa siya ng masarap na cake, paborito ng anak niya, silagay niya sa table. Para lang mapatunayan kung susunod o hindi yung anak niya. Pwede kaya yon? Okay, bilang kapatid, will you do that to your brothers and sisters? I doubt, right? And how much more to God? How much more to a God who created everything, invested everything for the sake of His children. And also, Adam and Eve would not have risked their lives and disobeyed God only to obtain some delicacies. Halimbawa, sino sa inyo ang paborito ang mangga na prutas? Can you clap? Reaction na clap kung sino yon? Ayun, merong isa. Yung guwapings natin na dalawa. Okay? Yan. Halimbawa, sino ba to? Si Roger o Roger ba yon? Yan. Halimbawa, si Roger, paborito niya ang mangga. Bibigyan natin siya ng isang truckload ng mangga. Ang kapalit, buhay niya. Will you accept the truckload of mangga, Roger? Ha? Tatanggapin mo, hindi?
Hindi po.
Bakit? Paborito mo yun, di ba? Dapat tanggapin mo kasi paborito mo yun eh. Di ba? Meaning, mas mahalaga pa rin yung buhay more than just a simple delicacy. Tama po ba? Aju? Pero kung titignan natin, Adam and Eve risked their life for the sake of obtaining such fruit. So meron bang prutas na gano'n mas mahalaga sa buhay ng tao? So in short, we can surmise that the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil could not have been an ordinary fruit, but rather it is something that is so extraordinary na stimulating in the eyes of Adam and Eve that even the fear of death is kaya nilang isakripisyo ang kanilang buhay for the sake of it. Tama ba? Kasi sabi ni God, do not eat the fruit. Once you will eat it, you will surely die. So alam nila na pag kinain nila, mamamatay sila. Pero bakit kinain pa rin nila? Okay? So yan. So para mas maintindihan natin, let us see. Let us know what does the fruit represent. And para maintindihan din natin kung ano ba talaga yung ugat ng kasalanan. And kung basahin natin yung Bible, wala tayong ibang mas makita kundi puro na lang, it is a fruit that the cause of death of Adam and Eve that's the cause of the sin of Adam and Eve, eating the fruit. Okay? Pero kung babasahin natin yung Bible, and also if we will come to look at the Bible, many important part of it are being written in symbolism and metaphor. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng karamihan sa mga importanteng bagay na nasa Biblia, nakasulat na may sinisimbolo. Hindi siya mismo yung actual na sinasabi doon, but it is something else na kapareho nung tinutukoy na rine-represent nung bagay na yon. Okay? Yan. And para mas maintindihan natin, let's see. Okay, ano ba talaga yung tree of knowledge of good and evil? And ano ba talaga yung tree of life? Yun ba is totoong puno na namumunga? Or it represents something else? Okay? Yan. Kung titignan natin, okay, yung tinutukoy na tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, okay, this actually symbolizes the center of God's providence in the Garden of Eden. Okay? Sino yon? Di ba walang iba kundi si Adam and Eve. So we can therefore conclude that the tree of life symbolizes an ideal man who has fully realized the ideal of creation and thus symbolize perfected Adam. So ibig sabihin, yung tree of life pala na sinasabi na katabi nung tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's no other than si Adam. Okay? And kung si Adam yung tree of knowledge of good and evil, kung si perfected Adam yon, we can therefore say that the tree of knowledge of good and evil na namumunga nung fruit ay walang iba kundi sino? Sino yon? Anybody? Walang iba kundi si Eve. Pero hindi lang simpleng Eve. It is the perfected Eve. Aju? Alam naman natin pag sinabi nating perfected, right? It is a person who continuously practice a harmonious reciprocal relationship between the subject and object. And that is the formation of a characteristics of continuously living for higher purpose. Okay? Even individual purpose supports the whole purpose. So yun yung sinasabi nating ideal man and ideal woman. And that is the destiny of Adam and Eve once they can fulfill the three great blessings. Tama ba? First blessing is perfection of individual character of a man and a woman. And then after that, once they can perfect their character, what will happen? Diba? They needed to prove that they have perfected their characteristics by developing a harmonious relationship. And that's the time na magkaroon ng substantial image si God centering on the unity of masculine and feminine or man and woman in the image level centering on human being or kina Adam and Eve. Okay? Yan. Kaya nga kung titignan natin even in the Bible, many times that Jesus referring himself to become a vine. I am the vine and you are the branches. So ibig sabihin, eto rin yung goal ni Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago. Likened to the goal of Adam to become the tree of life in the Garden of Eden in the very beginning of the creation. Yan. And also, likewise, to give us a hint about the secret of the human fall, God provided the symbolism of two trees to represent perfected Adam and perfected Eve. So yung tree na sinasabi doon sa middle of the Garden of Eden ay hindi siya puno na literal but it represents Adam and Eve. na by the fruit of their fulfillment of the responsibility, dun malalaman whether they will build a God-centered family or a not God-centered family. Whether they can establish a four-position foundation in the family level centering on God or centering on something else. Pero nakadepende yan how much they understood or how much they practice the reciprocal relationship of the harmonious relationship of the internal and external or positive and negative or even the subject and object, and how they can sustain that through their relationship together as husband and wife. Aju? Aju po ba? Does it make sense? Yan. Kaya hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na simpleng prutas lang yung kinain nila. Okay? It is something else that is present within Adam and Eve that they should not use so that they can create a God-centered family. Pero kung titignan natin along the way, while they are fulfilling the three great blessing, okay, merong nag-influence sa kanila ay walang iba kundi yung merong serpent na nag-influence sa kanila. So kung yung tree is a symbol, pwede rin ba natin na simbolo din yung serpent? Pwede rin ba natin sabihin? Absolutely yes, right? Bakit? Unang-una, characteristics ng ahas, sabi niya dito, in the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 4 to 5, sabi niya doon, number 1 is able to converse with human being. Ang galing naman ng ahas na to nakapagsasalita at nakakausap niyang tao. Meron na ba kayo nakitang ganon na ahas? Meron na ba kayo na-encounter? Or what if may encounter niyo yun? Entertain niyo ba o hindi? Halimbawa, naglalakad ka tapos biglang may ahas na nasa harapan mo, nakaganon. Hello, kumusta ka? Sasagutin niyo hindi? Ha? Baka nga tatakbuhan niyo, di ba? Pero kung titignan natin, in the Garden of Eden, kinausap siya, in-entertain siya ni Eve. So that is the characteristics of the serpent. So it's not really a literal snake or serpent. Kasi kung makita mo pala nga na ahas at hindi alaga yan, lalapitan mo ba? Absolutely not, right? Because the reaction is, meron tayong fear sa ahas. And then number 2 is, it caused the fall of human. Okay? Siya yung naging dahilan bakit nagkasala ang tao. Ibig sabihin, inumpluensya niya ang tao to commit sin. So, sino lang bang pwede makapag-influence sa atin? Sino? Sino ang pwedeng magbigay sa atin ng makapag-influence sa atin in order for us to do something else? Any clue? Any hint? Wala? Hello? Any hint po? Di ba walang iba kundi mga angels? Tama ba? Kaya nga meron tayong sinasabi na my guardian angel. Siya yung nag-guide sa akin. Siya yung nag-influence sa akin in order for me to be protected and be guided accordingly. And likened to Adam and Eve, etong serpent na to is siya yung nag-cause ng kasalanan. Ginaid niya si Adam and Eve to commit the sin. So furthermore, okay, aside from that, ito pa pinakamatindi, the serpent knew the will of God. Ano bang will ni God kina Adam and Eve? Sabi nga ni Eve sa kanya nung una, hindi namin pwedeng kainin kasi pag kainin namin yan, mamamatay kami. Anong sabi ng serpent? Anybody who have read that in the book of Genesis chapter 3? I think that is in Genesis 3:7. Anong sinabi ng ahas? Anong sinabi ng serpent? Kaya di ba sabi niya, hindi kayo mamamatay bagkus mabubuksan ang inyong isipan at magiging mas magaling pa kayo kay God. Okay, so alam niya kung ano yung commandment ni God kina Adam and Eve. And alam din niya kung ano ang direction na pupuntahan once na ginawa nila yon. Okay? Anong mangyari sa kanila physically and internally? Tama po ba? Aju? So this serpent knew the will of God na hindi nila pwedeng kainin momentarily. Okay? And alam din niya na pag kinain nila yun after, they will become better than anybody else. Even more than God. Aju? So therefore, we can say that the serpent is not just an ordinary, literal serpent, but it is something else. Another thing is, sabi niya dito, as it is written, the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, he was thrown down to earth. That is being written in the book of Revelation chapter 12 verse 9. Nang sinasabi doon is, originally, nasan siya nakatira? Originally, it lives in heaven. And then after that, he was thrown down from heaven to the earth. Na even now, it can transcend time, space to dominate the human soul. So mula noon hanggang ngayon, ang ginagawa ng serpent na to, or devil na to, is always influencing human being to continuously commit sin. So meron bang ahas o meron bang serpent na makakagawa ng ganon? Actually, there's no such serpent, right? So it's not a literal serpent, but it symbolizes something else. Anong sinisimbola niya? Walang iba kundi somebody in the spiritual world who have a great influence to Adam and Eve. So we can therefore say that this is compelling evidence that the being which the serpent symbolized was a spiritual being. He was once an angel. Okay? So the spiritual being represented by the serpent was originally created with good purpose, but later fell and became Satan. Alam naman natin na merong tatlong archangels si God. Tama ba? There are 3 archangels. And these 3 archangels, these are the one who influence Adam and Eve to fulfill their portion of responsibility. But among the 3 who rebelled against God and who rebelled against humanity. Meron ba? It's no other than, sino yon? One of the 3 archangels. Tama ba? Kaya nawala siya sa picture. Yun ay walang iba kundi si, sino? May additional points yung makasagot.
Satan.
Ha? Si Satan? Sino yan? It's no other than si? Diba? Si paring Lucifer, right? Si paring Lucy. Tama ba, brothers and sisters? Yan. Among the 3 archangels, the one who rebel against God and humanity is no other than si Lucifer. Okay? Yan. So originally, Lucifer's purpose is to guide and educate Adam and Eve to fulfill the purpose of creation. But after that, he disconnect himself to God and he disconnect himself to humankind and he influenced Eve and Adam and Eve to commit sin. Kaya nga kung titignan natin, there are no being endowed with such characteristics other than the angels. So therefore, we can therefore say that the serpent is an angel. And that is being written in the book of 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. Okay? Na yung serpent na tinutukoy ay walang iba kundi isang mataas ang posisyon sa angelic world. And yung tinutukoy na ito ay walang iba kundi si Lucifer. Aju po ba? Aju no Aju? Hello? Are you still with me, brothers and sisters? Inaantok na ba kayo? Parang may inaantok na yata. Yan. Okay? So if the trees, the fruit, and the serpent are symbols, paano nangyari yon? Paano sila nagkasala? Okay? What had happened in the Garden of Eden that led human being to commit sin? So tignan natin. The fall of the angel and the fall of human being. And to understand clearly what is the sin of the angel is we needed to go back to the book of Jude. Sabi nga niya doon, from the book of Jude, chapter 6, verse 7, we can infer that the angel fell as a result of an illicit sexual relationship. Alam niyo ba itong nasa Jude 6:7? Sino may Bible sa inyo dyan? May Bible application. Meron ba sa inyo may Bible application sa cellphone? Ha?
7. Yes, meron.
Jude 6:7, 6 to 7.
Ano yun?
Can you read, please?
Ano? 6-7 eh.
Ha?
Ayos siya.
Hello?
One lang pala. 6-7?
Jude chapter 6 to 7. Kahit lang a portion of it, dun sa pinakauna.
Chapter 1 lang, bakit chapter 1? Basahin mo. Hindi, chapter 1.
Bagal naman kasi nito kung ano ko.
Verse yan. Hindi, chapter 6, verse 7 ba? Walang 6. Chapter 1, 6, 7? You know? Chapter 1, 6, 7 ba? Chapter 1,
Jude.
verse 6, 7.
Jude 6 to 7.
And I remind you of the angels who did not serve in the land of authority.
Ito. Ito na lang. Sabi niya doon, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he had reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. That is Jude 6. 7, sabi niya doon, even so, even as Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Okay? Yan. So katulad ng Sodom and Gomorrah. And pagka sinabi nating Sodom and Gomorrah, what comes into your mind? Diba ito yung sinunog ni God? Na hanggang sa ngayon, inaalam ng pinag-aagawan ng Discovery Channel saka National Geographic kung talaga bang nasunog ang Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you encountered that? Na inaalam ng Discovery Channel saka National Geographic kung saan talaga yung exact location ng Sodom and Gomorrah. And ang una nakakuha ng hint is National Geographic kasi meron sila nakita ng mga remnants na mga uling dun sa lugar na pinopoint out sa Bible when they studied it. Okay? Yan. So anong sinasabi doon? Kung sinabing Sodom and Gomorrah, in Sodom and Gomorrah nagkaroon ng fornication, nagkaroon ng improper relationship between human being. So katulad nun ang nangyari, ganun ang kasalanan ng mga angels. And in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 7, sabi niya doon, we can infer that Adam and Eve's sexual part were the instrument of their sinful deed. Bakit? Okay? Pagkatapos nilang kumain ng prutas, saan bang tinakpan? Naturally, dapat bibig yung tinatakpan. Tama ba? Di ba? Dapat bibig yung tinakpan, ngunit anong tinakpan nila? Yung maselang bahagi ng kanilang katawan. And it's no other than their sexual part. Aju? So therefore, we can say na ang ginamit nila is hindi yung pagkain ng prutas, but they misuse their sexual part. So ibig sabihin, ang naging problem din is misusing their sexual part. And they commit into an illicit sexual relationship. Improper. Okay? Kaya nga sabi ni Jesus sa book of John, you are of your father the devil. Okay? Lustful ang tao, kaya anong tingin niya? It is likened to the devil. Kasi si Lucifer din is nag-engage din siya into improper relationship. Yun din ang ginawa niya. Tinempt niya si Eve na magkaroon sila ng improper relationship na dapat hindi sila yung magkaroon ng relasyon. Kasi ang dapat na rightful na maging partner ni Eve ay walang iba kundi si Adam. Tama po ba? Hello? Aju? So hence we can deduce that the illicit sexual relationship must have occurred between the angel and human being. So nagkaroon ng exclusive relationship between Lucifer and Eve, and then Eve and Adam. They misuse the value of their sexual organ of creating a God-centered lineage. Meaning, nagkaroon sila ng four-position foundation not centering on God, but centering on the influence of Satan. Kasi yun din ang naramdaman ni Eve nung nakipag-relate siya kay Lucifer. So instead na yung goodness ni God ang ma-inherit ni Eve, ang na-inherit ni Eve is yung lie ni Lucifer. Adyo? Yan. And kung yung na-inherit ni Eve, naging perfect ba si Eve? And nagkaroon ba ng true love si Eve? Actually, hindi. Kaya nga kung titignan natin, the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is no other than it symbolized the love of Eve. Na kung naging mature si Eve, surely maging good ang kanya mga anak. Pero dahil hindi pa siya naging mature, nasa growing period pa lang siya, nasa top of the growth period, nagkaroon na siya ng misuse of sexual love. What had happened? Nagkaroon ba siya ng mabuting anak? Namunga ba siya ng mga mabuting bunga? Di ba? Nagkaroon ng first murder in human history nung pinatay ni Cain si Abel. And they are the member of the first family. Okay? Yan. So Eve was created in an immature state. She was to reach full maturity only after going through the period of growth. Thus, it was possible for her to bear either good fruit or evil fruit through her love. So yun yung naging problem. Okay? Hindi naging mature, hindi na perfect yung love ni Eve. Kumbaga sabi nga natin, hinog sa pilit. Okay? Bubot pa lang pinitas na. And nung nagkaroon ng ties, eating means development of blood ties with Lucifer. So accordingly, Eve's eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil denotes that she consummated a satanic love relationship with the angel which bound her in blood ties to him. Kaya yung dugong nananalaytay sa atin, hindi yung dugo ni God. But that is the blood of Satan. That is given through Eve, and then from Eve to Adam, and then it was passed from generation to generation. Kaya sabi ni Jesus, okay, we are the children of Satan. We are not the children of God. Adyo? Yan. So we can therefore say that the root of sin of our first human ancestor, okay, is no other than an illicit sexual relationship that started with the angel. With angel Lucifer, and then from angel Lucifer, he passed to Eve, and then from Eve to Adam. And from Adam and Eve, dahil nagkaroon na ng substantial relationship sina Adam and Eve, nagkaroon ng substantialization ng illicit sexual relationship in physical term, ang nangyari, nagkaroon ngayon ng expansion or multiplication of satanic evil lineage here on earth. Kaya ang parents natin, hindi si God, kundi si Satan. Adyo? Ang nagbigay ng blessing kina Adam and Eve is hindi si God. Ang nagbigay ng go signal kina Adam and Eve to consummate their love in matrimony is not God, but it is Satan. Pero ang original plan is dapat si God yung magbigay sa kanila ng blessing. Kaya ang naging fruit, lahat ng tao, we became sinners. We became the fruit of the evil or the illicit sexual relationship of the angel and Eve to Adam. Kaya kung titignan natin, we started not a God-centered history or family, but we started with a evil-centered history and family. Adyo? Kaya nga kung titignan natin, many of major religion, isa sa mga pinagbabawal is do not engage into sexual or immoral act. Nabasa niyo ba yung 10 Commandments? Ma-remember niyo yung 10 Commandments? Who among you knows the 10 Commandments? Okay. Dun sa 10 Commandments, ano dun yung naulit ng 2 beses? Diba? Ano yung naulit dun? It is talking about the value of sexual organ. Anong ma-remember nyo? Anybody who can say that? Thou shall not commit adultery and thou shall not covet thy neighbor's wife. Naisa lang yung tinutukoy nun. It is do not misuse your sexual organ. And among the 10 commandments, ito lang yung naulit ng 2 beses. And that is how important our sexuality is. Aju? Now, once we will misuse it, either we will be creating or multiplying satanic evil lineage here on earth. So meaning, nakadepende sa atin. Nakadepende how much we look at our sexual organ and how much we preserve its value to multiply God's lineage. So I hope na with that, we can have a better understanding of the root of sin and most especially the failure of Adam and Eve. Na hindi lang yung pagkain ng prutas, but most especially nagkaroon ng exclusive and personal feeling si Archangel Lucifer at saka si Eve, and then si Eve at saka si Adam. Na dapat ang priority nila is to practice yung what? Holistic purpose more than individual purpose. So pag sinabi nating root of sin, it is always reversing the proper relationship of subject and object. Yung object will be raised to become the subject and the subject will be raised to become an object. Aju? So good evening, everybody.
Let's give a hand to our Kuya Randy, Ame, brothers and sisters. Okay. We will be entertaining questions later on. Maybe it's we will have a continuous presentation muna, and then we'll discuss some clarifications and answer questions after the 3 lectures are being discussed. So for section 2, the motivation and process of the fall, let us welcome our lecturer for this section, no other than Kuya Herwin Kalinawan. Let's give him a round of applause, brothers and sisters.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir Andy.
Hello.
Good evening, brothers and sisters.
Good evening po.
Yun.
Evening po.
Nag-loading tayo. Nakita ba? Okay, good evening once again. So, in the previous section 1, we've learned from Sir Randy, really explained well about the meaning of the fruit, the knowledge of good and evil, and who was the serpent. So now, ano yung naging motivation ni, we will discover here in section 2, ano yung naging motivation ni ng angel to tempt Eve and how it happens. So first, since angel yung nag-commit, nag-tempt first kay Eve, let us we must learn first about the angel. So, and what is the relationship between angels and human beings? Angels were created prior to any other creation. So when God created the universe, God created angels first. So, but what is the position of the angel? God created angels to be his retainers, who would assist him in creating and sustaining the universe. A servant and administering spirits, and the Bible often portrays angels honoring and praising God. So basically, God created angels as a servant, as a caretaker of the creation. So before God created human beings, angels muna yung nagtitake care ng environment ng universe. And so angels were also with God during the creation process, yung create ni God ng universe. Kasi nung maano natin makita natin sa Bible, yung God said na let us make man in our image. Then the word us means plural, means God is not alone that time, but God is with an angel during the creation. So from the beginning, angels already kasama na ni God, the create. Ang angels na mismo yung naka-experience how does it feel to be with God. So yun yung position ng angels. He is the servant, and he is a retainer or caretaker. Well, how about the human beings? So because God created human beings as his children and gave us dominion over all creation, we are meant to rule over the angels as well. So we are created by God differently than the angels. Very different because we are created as his children, and we have given the mandate to rule over the creation, even the angels. So it means the angels are below human beings. So that is the relationship between us and the angels and God. And now, so we've learned from the first section that there's an illicit sexual relationship happens, but this illicit sexual relationship happens in two dimensions. It's because God created human beings with spirit and physical body. So it means the fall also happens in two dimensions: the spiritual fall and physical fall. So the spiritual fall happens between the angel and Eve. So from here, God created the fall which took place through the sexual relationship between angel and Eve was the spiritual fall, while the fall which occurred through the sexual relationship between Eve and Adam was physical fall. So these are the two. The fall happens in two dimensions, and we will learn more what are these spiritual and physical fall and how does it happen. So what is the motivation of the angel? Why he tempted Eve? Let's study first how the spiritual fall happens and what is its motivation. So God assigned Lucifer to the position of archangel. So as what I have said, angels was created before the universe. So and then in the Bible there are thousands or numerous angels in this in the spirit world. And then, I mean, thousands of numerous angels created by God. And then in the archangel, in the angel, there are what we call, meron tayong tinatawag na hierarchy. Tapos yung pinakamataas diyan is yung archangel na tinatawag. And then Lucifer was belong to this archangel. There are 3 archangels. We have si Lucifer, si Michael, at si Gabriel. Ngayon, ang binigyan ng power ni God, so much power, is si Lucifer. God gave Lucifer wisdom and also the ruler of life. So from the very beginning, na-experience na ni Lucifer yung love ni God. Siya yung unang create ni God. However, after God created human beings as children, He loved them many times more than He had ever loved Lucifer, whom He had created as a servant. But ang nangyayari, so when God created human beings, God loved more human beings because they are His children. Kasi si Lucifer, servant lang siya. So ang motivation ng Paul here, in truth, Lucifer felt that parang ang lagi kasing tinitaker ni God ay pinakausap ni God ay yung love ni God mas towards human beings. So na-feel ni Lucifer na parang nawawalan ng love si God sa kanya. So he felt jealous towards Adam and Eve, and then he wanted same central position. But in truth, yung love ni God towards human beings, towards Lucifer, doesn't change. It's still the same. It was the same before and after the creation of human beings. Pero ang nangyari, he had felt this decrease in love from God. So, Lucifer, feeling as though he were receiving less love than he deserved, wanted to grasp the same central position in human society as he enjoyed in the angelic world, as the channel of God's love. This is why he seduced Eve, and this was the motivation of the spiritual fall. So, Lucifer wanted to become, to have the same position with the human beings, para maka-feel siya ng love, the same with the human beings. That's why he tempted or seduced Eve. So, ano yung naging resulta ng spiritual fall na to? So, Lucifer, who left his proper position due to his excessive desire, and Eve, who wanted to open her eyes and become like God before the time was right, formed a common base and began give and take action, which led them to consummate an illicit sexual relationship on the spiritual plane. So because of this excessive desire ni Lucifer na ma-receive niya yung love from God, the same love na receive nila ni Adam and Eve. So, ang ginawa niya, he left his proper position as a servant, as an archangel. Iniwan niya yung position na yun, it's because of his desire, excessive desire, na gusto niyang ma-experience yung love na yun. And sometimes, ito yung nature natin as a human being. Na-obserbahan natin sa sarili natin that we always have this desire, especially sa family, and then especially pag panganay, ang nangyayari, panganay ka, tapos noong una, since ikaw pa lang yung pinanganak, unang first child, so ikaw yung inalagaan lagi ng parents mo. Ako, pangalawa kasi ako eh. So, but ikaw yung laging inaalagaan ng parents mo. But nung lumabas yung kapatid mo, sumunod sa'yo, ganon. Tapos, nung nakita mong parang mas lalong minahal ng parents mo yung kapatid mo, parang nagsiselos ka, naiingit ka. And then, minsan nagre-rebelde ka is because, yun nga, you feel like nawala yung love ng parents mo sa'yo, ganon. So the same with here happens with Lucifer. So, ganun ang iniwan niya yung position niya, and then he tempted Eve, or seduced Eve. And then, kay Eve then, what happens, they have this form a common base and give and take with each other. So, since gusto rin ni Eve na he wanted to open her eyes na tapos become like God who knows good and evil, nag-form ang common base, tapos so nagkaroon ng sexual relationship, and that is the spiritual fall between Lucifer and Eve. So all the elements na nandun kasi pag ang dalawa kasing this Lucifer and Eve, if even in earthly people, if two earthly people have this give and take action, so nag-exchange sila ng elements. Ma-inherit ng isa yung elements ng isa. So, same here, na-inherit ni Eve yung elements from Lucifer. And that is, nagkaroon ng guilt si Eve sa sarili niya. And she felt fear as well. So, yun yung, kaya, nung napansin ni, at the same time, nagkaroon din siya ng knowledge na kasi si Lucifer is a god of, is an angel of wisdom. So na-inherit din yun ni Eve. This knowledge, and this knowledge was na-realize niya na ang totoong magiging asawa niya si Adam. So yun, na-realize din niya na hindi si Lucifer dapat. They are doing the unprincipled love. So, they are doing this illicit sexual relationship na hindi dapat gawin. Na-realize ni Eve. So, she has this fear and feel of guilt within herself. So, ang nangyari, gusto niyang bumalik kay God. Kasi nga, na-tempt siya kay Eve, kay Lucifer eh. So, naisip ni Eve na I want to go back to God. So, ang goal niya, ang naging goal niya is kailangan kong i-tempt Adam. So, ngayon, pumunta siya kay Adam, ay nakipag give and take siya, hoping na pag pumunta siya kay Adam, tapos makipag-give and take, having this relationship, hoping na makabalik siya kay God. But that never happens. Kasi, ang nangyayari, nagkaroon ng another illicit sexual relationship, which is the physical fall between Eve and Adam. So yun, from here, fallen Eve then seduced Adam with the hope that by uniting with him, she could rid herself of the dread, and once again stand before God. This was Eve's motivation, which led to the physical fall. Yes, it never happens because even Adam himself is still immature. And then, since Eve, meron na siyang knowledge lahat eh. Meron na natutunan niya, or nakuha niya galing kay Lucifer. So, kung anong ginawa ni Lucifer sa kanya, ganun din yung gagawin niya kay Adam. Yun lang, nagkamali siya, it's because Adam is still immature, and then nagkaroon din, nag-give and take action din si Adam sa kanya. And then, so we all know that love is, if you have this love, mas mahirap isipin si God pag ganun. They have this emotions and sensibility with each other because of this love. So yun, Adam responded and formed a common base with Eve, standing in the position of archangel, and they began give and take action with each other. The power of unprincipled love generated in the relationship seduced Adam to abandon his original position and brought them together in an illicit physical relationship. So the same happens with Lucifer and Eve. Adam also lost his position as children of God. So all of them are being cut off from God. Nahiwalay sila kay God. The children of God are being separated from Him. So yun, all the positions were lost. All the love were lost. I mean, merong love, but it's fall in love. So now, this happens in our. That is why the word religion, ang meaning yan is Bisaya religion, but means connecting against to God. Kasi naputol yung connection natin kay God eh. So ang goals ng religion, connect tayo kay God. But still, why up until now, they still have this. We still have this problem because we did not yet fully understand. Even the other religions didn't fully understand the meaning of this fall. So for that, we've learned already the physical fall and spiritual fall and motivation. So I think we should realize also that the motivation is very important. When our motivation is very selfish, just like Lucifer, he is thinking only of himself, then surely you will affect others, and it can cause chaos of being selfish. And then yung position din, whatever position we have, God's love is the same. I mean, God loves us in the different way because every person is unique. So wag mong sabihin na parang wag natin sabihin na parang mas mahal ata ni God si ganito, si ganyan kasi binigyan ng responsibility or binigyan ng ganito, so much blessing, and then we feel like jealous, and then sometimes we pull others down. That's a fallen nature. Yan yung nature na nakuha natin kay Lucifer. Kaya nga yung mundo natin full of sin. It's because of what happens of this physical and spiritual fall. So let us look God as our parent and always think that God loves us in a unique way because we are created God in a different, in a unique also. So instead, we should be thankful always, every day. Yung sinabi ni Dr. Yong, the 10 points of appreciation every day. So we should be thankful of what God gave us every day. So that's it, all. Thank you very much.
Let's give a hand to our Kuya Herwin Kalinawan, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Kuya Herwin. Now, are you ready for our last topic for tonight, brothers and sisters? Who knows the title of section 3? Sinong may alam?
The power of love.
Yeah, tama si Kuya. The power of love, the power of principle and God's commandment.
Power of the principle.
Love is the power of principle.
So to discuss this section. Let's call Ate Renina Dolendo. Let's give her a round of applause, brothers and sisters.
Kulang. Kailangan lipat. Mahina yun. Mahina yung pattern. Ayun. Dito mo na.
Makita ko dito mo naman.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Naririnig niyo ako? Parang
Feedback ako.
Nag-iikot eh. Nag-iikot. May echo.
anong gagawin ko?
Ilang boses eh. Nakamit. Paano naman?
Naririnig niyo na ako?
Yes. Yes.
Yes po.
Okay na po? Wala nang ano?
Silent pa din po.
May
Parang
nag-feedback.
nasa
Silent niyo po yung isa. Tanggalin niyo po yung speaker ng isa.
Okay, yan.
Meron pa rin po.
Ano nangyayari?
Baka may speaker na malaki po. Naka-headset na. Naka-headset. Diba, nagamit ko sa speaker. May echo ba? Pero anong gamit ng speaker? Ako malakas. Naka-connect ng speaker. Gamit ang audio jack.
Hello? Naiintindihan ako? Okay na?
Nag-i-echo po.
May feedback pa rin te.
Nag-echo po.
May echo.
Naka-may speaker po na malaki. Baka mo may speaker po kaya na ano, yung malaki. Ayun ng ano. Naka-open. Speaker ba yung gamit mo, te? Speaker po. I-off niyo po yung ano, te, yung echo. Baka nakaset po siya sa echo po. Pero okay lang yun, kahit nag-echo. Nandiyan naman.
Ate, okay na po ba?
Hindi kayo naririnig. Gawin mo yung ano pa, isang audio. Isang ano mo. Cellphone ba?
Okay, ito na. Pwede na? Ha?
Computer. Audio sa
Ayan. Ito ginawa ko last time.
iwalay, ay, medyo ilayo yan sila. Sige daw po. Kasi hindi naririnig.
Okay. Ayan, meron na.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Ito okay na?
Okay na po. Tama, double.
Okay na? Or mahina pa rin?
Okay lang po.
Ano ba ginawa ko last time? Ha?
Test.
What?
Double na. Ano.
Okay.
Ayan, okay na?
Patayin mo na lang kayong isa.
Okay na?
Ayan, mas better na
Ayan.
siya. Tay.
Okay na po.
Okay na? Okay na?
Yes po.
Okay, now, although God created human beings based on the principle,
Kasi may
He governed
nag-feedback.
us
Patayin mo na lang kayong isang ano, te. Isang gamit mo. Close na lang. Yan na lang gamitin mo yung laptop.
Brothers and sisters, okay pa po ba tayo? Fighting! Diba na ng antok at pagod. Okay na po ba kayo, Ate Relina?
Hello, okay na?
Okay na po.
Yes po,
Narinig
Ate.
niyo ako?
Yes po.
In section 3, although God created human beings based on the principle, He governed us through love. Ano pa yung ibig sabihin ng principle dito? Yung principle na pinag-uusapan dito is yung principle of creation, di ba? Wherein God created us through uh, and though through same with his with yung common characteristic niya with same with the same na ng dual characteristic niya. And God governed us through love. Accordingly, in order for love to fulfill wala na naman, to fulfill its proper role, the power must be stronger. The power of love must be stronger than the power of the principle. Paano mangyayari? Bakit kaya kailangan na yung power of love must be stronger than the power of principle? Paano mangyayari yun? Pa rin siya. So the power of kailangan kasi yung diba yung four position foundation, yung behind the four position foundation is yung love, diba? Yun yung nag-ooperate o yun yung ginagamit ni God para dun sa kumbaga kung sa IT kasi ang back end nung four position foundation is yung love or power, the power of love. Accordingly, in order to fulfill its proper role, the power of love must be stronger than the power of the principle. Because the power of love is stronger than the principle, God foresaw that if ever Adam and Eve form a common base with the archangel, there was a possibility that they could succumb to deviant, unprincipled love and fall. Di ba? Alam naman natin from section from the first section and the second section, alam natin na in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve are still in the growing stage, so immature pa sila. So, and that God cannot directly have dominion on them. Kasi si God, di ba, perfect individual siya. So, kailangan hindi siya makakapag-relate kay Adam and Eve directly. So, kailangan niya ng di ba? Kailangan niya ng assistant, di ba? At ang pinaka pwedeng maging assistant, the most niya to govern or to help Adam and Eve to become perfect in their and to fulfill yung perfection of character, para maging perfect sila, kailangan niya ng assistance. And this is ang pinaka qualified to assist Adam and Eve and to teach them is that si Lucifer, being siya kasi yung di ba? Siya kasi yung di ba may tatlong sinasabi nga ni Sir Herwin kanina, there are three archangels, si God na nag-a-assist kay that assisting God into the management or of the or in governing the world, the natural world, specifically yung sa yung humanity, di ba, Adam and Eve. So ang pinaka tatlong archangel yon, which represent intellect, emotion, and will ni God, di ba? At ang pinaka qualified nga doon is si Lucifer, kasi siya yung nagre-represent ng intellect, di ba? So siya yung pwedeng, at siya rin yung leader ng mga archangel. So before before creation ng ng human beings before creation of Adam and Eve, siya rin yung nado-dominate niya yung love, siya yung na-monopolize niya actually. Monopolize niya yung love ni God kasi yung love ni God is directly na napupunta sa kanya bago niya i-share yon sa mga iba pang angels, being siya nga yung qualified, or siya siguro yung siya yung nauna na naka-reach nung level of maturity. Although hindi pa full yung level of maturity nila, pero at least nandoon na sila sa level. Kasi ever since before the creation ng human beings, nandoon na yung mga angels at palaging siya yung pinakamalapit kay God. So if ever kasi, kaya ginawa ni God na mas stronger yung power of love than the power of principle, kasi yung power of love lang ang pwedeng, if ever may mangyari doon sa prinsipyo, magkaroon ng mistake into fulfilling yung tawag dito, yung principle, kasi nga everybody doon sa mga creation ni God, including the angels, especially the human beings, Adam and Eve, hindi pa naman sila perfect, di ba? So, meron silang possibility na mag-commit ng mistake. And between the Lucifer and Adam and Eve, sino bang mas maraming experience para ma-develop yung maturity nila? Di ba sino ang mas madaming experience between kay Lucifer and Adam and Eve? Sino mas madami? Sino naka-accumulate na ng maraming experience? So alam natin na si Lucifer mas maraming experience. Kaya kaya mas posible kasi na ma-influencehan kung magkaroon man ng problema si Lucifer, posible na dun sa fulfill ng principle, kailangan maaari kasing ma-influence niya ngayon si Adam and Eve, since si Adam and Eve is still in their immature state, at saka isa pa, siya kasi yung palaging kasama nila Adam and Eve, di ba? Kasi hindi nga pwedeng indirect dominion lang si God pa lang sila habang hindi pa siya perfect. So, para maprotektahan si Adam and Eve dun sa ganung pangyayari, so ang ginawa ni God to prevent this, God gave Adam and Eve the commandment that forbade them from relating with the archangel this way. So, para nagbigay siya ng commandment na do not eat the fruit, yun. So, yun yung protection nila, nang sa ganon, malaman nila, ito rin yung, actually, yung commandment na to is, actually, it is a test of faith then, or test of maturity then. If ever nag-debate si Lucifer as their teacher, di ba? Si Lucifer is their teacher eh. So, nag-debate siya from the principle, yung nagkaroon ng unprincipled love, kasi di ba, karamihan sa atin pag merong nagtuturo sa atin na magaling, let's say nagtinuturuan niya tayo, ina-assist tayo let's say ina-assist ako ni Sir Randy, ganyan. Tapos nakita ko, ang galing-galing naman ni Sir Randy, yung ganyan. So, magkakaroon ako ng humanga ako sa kanya. So, minsan, anything na sabihin ni Sir Randy, parang mas pinaniniwalaan ko. So, kung may sinabi siya na hindi kapareho ng sinabi ni God, maaring iisipin ko, so anong gagawin ko? Iisipin ko na, kasi noong part na naman lecturer tong si Sir Randy. Parang ganon. So, maaring tama yan, parang ganon. Kasi nga, iisipin ko, matagal na niyang kasama si God, di ba? So maaring maniwala ako, kasi nga, pag iisipin ko, meron akong basis eh, palagi niya kasama si God dati eh. So maaring hindi lang nasabi ni God sa akin, pero yun, pero maaring tama siya. Parang ganon na sasabihin ko, dahil nga, iisipin ko na, matagal na niyang kasama si God, yung ganon. Without asking, pwede ko naman, pero di ba dapat, para masigurado ako, dapat tatanungin ko si God, di ba? Pero hindi ko na siya tinanong, parang ganyan. Tapos, dahil palagi ko siyang kasama, yun, dahil palagi kong kasama, siya yung palaging nakikita, parang naniniwala na ako, parang, tapos, nakadevelop ko ng paghanga sa kanya. So, parang naniniwala na ako, yun ganon. So to prevent this, kailangan kasi, kung hindi ko maisip na, pero nung naniwala kasi ako kay Sir Randy, ibig sabihin nagduda na rin ako dun sa sinabi ni God, na huwag kang kumain. Kasi sabi niya, di ba sabi ni Eve sa kanya, according to Sir Erwin, sabi ni Eve sa kanya, no, sabi niya, di ba hindi pwedeng kumain ng prutas, di ba sabi niya, di ba? Hindi pwedeng kumain ng prutas, pero sabi ni, hindi, pwede kang kumain. Kailangan, in fact, magiging mas matalino ka kay God. Yung gano'n na sinabi niya. Ganun ba? Hindi na ako nag-doubt. Parang hindi ko na pinahalagaan. I did not give important now dun sa sinasabi ni God. Pero kung iisipin ko na tatay ko yon, mas tama yung sasabihin niya, dapat tinanong ko siya, di ba? Pero ang nangyari, so hindi nga nagtanong si Eve, di ba? So naniwala siya kay Satan. Pero kay Lucifer, hindi pa siya Satan noon eh. Hindi pa siya Satan noon. So naniwala siya kay Lucifer. So yun. Pero ginawa niya yung commandment para maging parang trigger yun eh, para mag-isip ka kung susundin mo ba ako. Kaya nga test of maturity yun eh. Kung ma-overcome ni Eve yung temptation ni Lucifer, so yun, pwede niya sabihin na mature na siya, pwede na siyang ililift na sa kanya, maaring ilift na ni God yung prohibition not to eat the fruit. Pero to continue, God also, hindi lang dahil sa maprotektahan sila, gusto rin kasi ni God to enjoy dominion over the natural world by inheriting His created nature. So para ma-inherit nila, mamana nila yung creatorship ni God, kailangan ma-perfect nila yung sarili nila by abiding the word or keeping their faith to the word na not to eat. Kasi nga, yun yung principle eh. Kapag kasi na-overcome nila yung tawag dito, na-overcome ni Adam and ni Eve, yung temptation ni Satan, ni Lucifer, yun yung ibig sabihin na patunayan niya to God and even to Lucifer na siya talaga yung Lord of Creation at kasama ang mga angels doon or yung spirit world doon, yung mga nasa spirit world. And this is yung portion of responsibility nila. Doon yun nila pwedeng patunayan na kaya naming maging Lord of the creation, including the angels. Yun yung sinasabi dito. Ang sinasabi din, I would like to emphasize, ano ba yung unprincipled love? Diba? Sinasabi ni unprincipled love. Yung unprincipled love is yun yung love na hindi kasama si God. yung sinasabi ni Sir Randy palagi na exclusive love, di ba? Exclusive love. Ibig sabihin pag exclusive love kasi, kayo, dalawa lang yung taong involved doon, di ba? Dalawa. Kasi yung love within the Four Position Foundation, yung sa Four Position Foundation, di ba? Ilang love ba yun? Public love yun eh. Bakit siya public love? Kasi nga, tatlo o apat yung involved doon. 'Di ba? Kaya nga sinasabi dun sa ano natin eh, dun sa object tawag dito yung fulfillment of the three object purposes, 'di ba? Three object purposes kasi tatlo yung taong nakakaramdam nung umiikot na love dun sa Four Position Foundation. Kasi yung ang ano doon, yung union nila is yung fulfillment of the yung original nature, 'di ba? Yun, which is goodness, 'di ba? Yun yung sinasabi natin. Kaya nga tatlo, once na kasi tatandaan natin pag isasama natin yung numerology sa tungkol sa unprincipled love, sinasabi natin unprincipled love pag dalawang tao lang kasi 'di ba may kasabihan tayo, ang secret lang siya kung isa o dalawang tao nakakaalam, 'di ba? Pero pag tatlo na 'yon, hindi na yung secret, 'di ba? Yun yung sinasabi natin. So ibig sabihin, lumalabas bakit secret yung love nyo? Kasi ibig sabihin, maaaring may binabiolate kayo, 'di ba? Pero kung alam ng lahat, tatlong nakakaalam yan, ibig sabihin may nagsusuporta sa inyo. So, public love yon. Kaya siya ang principled love kasi nga, hindi kasama si God. Hindi nila sinasama si God. Yun yung sinasabi doon. Yung exclusive love, dalawa lang. Basta less than 2, 1 or less than, ibig sabihin, basta less than 3 yung love na yon, hindi siya exclusive love lang siya. Kailangan kasi more than 3. Kaya nga sa Trinity, 'di ba, tatlo siya kasi kung nag-away yung dalawa sa Trinity, meron pang 'di ba? Meron pang magiging subject na magiging source ng unity nung dalawang nag-away sa Trinity. Parang ganon. Ganon din sa sa Four Position Foundation kasi more than 3 yung love, yung objects na nakaka-feel ng love within the Four Position Foundation, yung mga object partners sa Four Position Foundation. Yun din yung sinasabi kung bakit sinasabi yung power of love is more than the power of the principle. So, sa pamamagitan nun, kung na-overcome ni Eve yung Adam and Eve, specifically Eve, yung tawag dito, yung temptation ni Lucifer, that's the time na magkakaroon ng human perfection in following the word of God, not to eat the fruit. So ito yung kanilang portion of responsibility. God's commandment, do not eat of the fruit, was binding only upon Adam and Eve while they are immature. Pero once na na-overcome nila yon, yung commandment is malilift yun or hindi na magiging applicable yung commandment na do not eat of the fruit. Yun po yung section 3.